let's make a custom design, Luca's confirmation. So we've got lemon oil. So we're going to write the words Luca confirmation with a cross in the center. So we've got a few colors in this one. It's really got to mix the oil in. It's a little bit different to an essence or a flavor. All right, let's pour. Okay, got the bars right. So this is our design. We are going to get Luca across the top, confirmation across the bottom, with a gold cross in the center. So generally I divide the table into the color section. So usually my left side is always the wrap side. The right side is always the text and the center logo side. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16. 16 letters. So pretty tight one, this one. 16 letters is kind of what we go on Mac's character base. Otherwise it ends up being too tight. But this one's nice because it's got short word on the top and the long word on the bottom. So as long as we get our letters the right size, then this should all come together quite nicely. The black text, and we've got 3 colours on the outside. We've got an aqua, we've got a light teal and a medium teal. Here we have gold. Gold's just a mix of yellow, a little bit of caramel brown. And if I'm doing a gold on the outside, I'll also add a little bit of black to that to get that metallic-y look. We might do another video on gold making. We're also going to give that a little bit of a hand stretch to pop that colour. So it'll go from transparent to a little bit opaque. There's our white through colour. Lemon oil being an oil, candy tends to harden up quicker. Always on a tighter time frame to try and get all the colours in. We've got aqua. Aqua's just a really light blue. Go too light on the blue and it tends to go a little bit green, so it's kind of what we're trying to achieve. Just a really light blue with a tint of green. Teal. So green, a bit more blue. Put a little bit of white in there. And we're also going to have white pinstripes intersecting these 3 colours on the outside, which will be good because that white will actually just pop the colour slightly and really define those 3 different colours. I'm going to go a medium teal. So the medium teal is a little bit darker. I'm not going to put any white in there, so you'll see the difference. We're going to take you through the whole process. So this will be a long form video. Really want to show you the step-by-step process that we take to get to this stage, to the end result. Double check, triple check. We've got citric acid. So being lemon, citric acid is the perfect acid for this lolly. Lovely. Okay, so we've got all our colours in now. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to separate the colours, make sure they don't blend. As you see, I've just created a little bit of space in between the colours, so it's easy for me to pull them apart. see that's cooled down really well. Just going to probably add a few little bits of clear to the colour. The gold's nice. A little bit more clear into the black. So I do like to handle the candy at this stage when it's reasonably firm. I find it easier to slide my spatula to divide the colours. A lot of other candy makers cut it with scissors. Also is dependent on the ingredients. Some glucose are harder than others in different countries. And then we've got a fair bit of white, which is good, especially when you're doing lots of characters. You want more white to give it proportion. Right, we're going to aerate and stretch it. So we'll start off with the letter L. So yeah, really important to get the first letter the right size. This is the one letter that will determine how big the rest of the order or wording will be. And being 16 characters, we're really trying to not make them too small and not make them too thin with the text. It's just about getting your eye in on the first letter. You can see that L shape. Next letter is U. So yeah, scissors and spatula are literally the two tools that I use when doing candy, and also a little damp sponge. It's like a sugar glue, so anything wet will make the candy stick. And then obviously with the word, we also take a look and we count if there's any doubles, triples, etc. So Luca confirmation, we have 2 A's, 2 C's, 2 O's, 2 I's. Yeah. So I just nip the ends off each letter just to keep it nice and tidy. Now we've got 2 C's, so obviously a little bit bigger on the text, somewhat double. Also keeping in mind you've got your third eye on the text amount, so kind of just judging it as you're going through the word, hoping that you're not going to run short. It doesn't happen a lot, but it can. So let us see. I'm really mindful not to rush when I'm doing custom work. Having a nice tranquil space at home to make from our studio is, for me, the perfect environment. Just to lock in, no distractions. We're going to extrude this into 2 pieces. Surface, you kind of want it to be a bit tacky, but not sticky. Okay, so 2 C's. So now we're going to do 2 A's. So I start just by getting that piece here is going to wrap around the center section. Boom, boom. And that little strip there is going to be the little cross section in the A. The white here will fill the space. So once again we've got 2 A's, so I'm going to divvy that up into 2 sections. Really awesome hot table, from side up, not from the top side down. So that's why we do flip and rotate everything. So 2 ends, literally 2 triangles. Fold, just sort of pinching, flip, and then pinching that top bit into the line and indent the bottom bit. That's where it's going to curve. Now, see that's kind of sagging. That's okay. Fill that space there. And curve that up. Basically what we want to do is we always come back to the block shape, so we're kind of pushing it all back into that block, and everything sort of moves, if it's the right shape and the right size, everything sort of moves back into that. And once again, two ends, so we'll be that up into two. So we've got letter F coming in next. Sounds like someone got a goal. They're out in France. Sounds of the hills.
Oh yeah.
The crows.
It's so nice.
Yeah. So many different birds. You don't get too many crows up here, but they're out today.
Enjoying the sun.
Yeah. Okay, so F. Sticky tacky spot.
It's got something against me.
Yep. So there is the letter F. Okay, so getting down to the last letters. So we've got letter M, and then we've got T, and that's it. Because we've got the other doubles, so letter M's always a bit tricky. I like M. It tends to be the biggest letter. W and M tends to be a bit wider in proportion than any other letter. So taking that into consideration, I just make sure that I do build it a little bit larger. So just a big piece of black, we're going to divide that into 3 little folds. So the white sections are going to be little wedges. Just rotate those things as well. Okay, so center. Always start from center. Hit that center spot. Fold that up, flip it, and you got that wedge under there. And then all I'm doing is just denting and pinching that point on the little V in the center. They've got little wings. And then just get those other 2 wedges and place them in space. And then just fold that up. Now you don't want to overhang, but that is going to meet nicely. So again, just pressing it, getting that block shape so everything sort of moves into its space. There's the letter N or a W. And a little bit larger, so I'm just it's going to be a little bit wider, so just make sure that's all. Okay, so now we're on to the cross. So we're going to divide the cross into 3 sections, 2/3, 1/3, I'd say. Like that, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So a little overhang here which I'll need to fill. A bit softer than borderline. Across. So just basically centering across. Just don't want it to be. Hands under there. So that's wrapped up nicely. Let me neck it. Come down on itself. This is weighing